Squid Game 3 or BTS comeback? Taehyung's unexpected choice sparks global debate. Is Kim Taehyung on the verge of choosing stardom over loyalty? BTS News Today. South Korea's golden voice. Fashion's global prince. ARMY's beloved V. Now caught in the eye of a worldwide storm. Is Taehyung silently walking away from BTS in exchange for a bloodstained jumpsuit and a role in Squid Game 3? Fans across continents are holding their breath. Some celebrate his rumored leap into acting, while others grieve what they fear is an irreversible drift away from BTS. But the real question is, what does Taehyung's silence actually mean? And what dark truth is he hiding behind that calm smile as speculation spreads like wildfire? One thing has become clear. The line between loyalty and legacy has never been thinner. And standing in the center of this emotional crossroad is none other than Kim Taehyung. When the whispers began, they sounded like fanfiction. A playful suggestion. A casual mention. Taehyung in Squid Game? The thought itself sounded thrilling. An artistic masterpiece meets K-pop royalty. But when fans uncovered a mysterious interview quote, then matched it with a string of cryptic social media posts and his conspicuous absence from BTS-related content, excitement turned to anxiety. Was he just teasing the world? Or was he gently preparing us for something none of us wanted to believe? And why now? Why during the most critical time, when BTS members are gradually returning from military enlistment and the entire fandom holds tight to the promise of a 2026 comeback? Could it really be true that Taehyung might not be there when it happens? This isn't just about an actor taking a new role. It's about a cultural icon possibly reshaping the destiny of the world's most influential boy band. The stakes are sky high, the emotions unbearably real. And for millions, the silence from both Taehyung and HYB is louder than any confirmation. Let's rewind. It all began when a Netflix Korea producer casually dropped a statement in an interview. We've been in quiet talks with some unexpected talents for Squid Game 3. Let's just say, fans of music will be very surprised. That was enough. In a matter of hours, Twitter exploded with only one name, Kim Taehyung. Why? Because just 2 days earlier, Taehyung had posted a cryptic black and white photo of a red jumpsuit on his private Instagram story, accompanied by a single emoji, performing arts. Then came the now infamous line he dropped during a casual online fan chat, responding to a fan's comment about acting. His words, "You'll see me in a way you haven't before, but be ready." Be ready for what? Taehyung. In the chaos that followed, ARMY started doing what ARMY does best: investigating. Deep dive threads began flooding social media, matching his schedule with a Squid Game filming calendar. Notably, he was absent during a few key BTS group mentions, including Suga's surprise Instagram Live earlier this month and the group's rehearsal teaser allegedly leaked online. Was it a conflict of schedule or a choice? Even more suspiciously, Taehyung's usually loyal manager was seen entering Netflix's Seoul office 3 times in May. Once could be coincidence. 3 times? That's a message, and it's not coded. But if this is true, why hasn't anyone said it out loud? HYB has remained deafeningly silent. No denials, no confirmations, no explanations. Some fans believe this silence is part of a larger marketing strategy to create hype. Others see it as the symptom of deeper internal tension between Taehyung and the management over his desire to break into acting full-time. It's no secret that Taehyung has long harbored a passion for acting. Even before debut, he dreamed of being a drama actor. His early appearances in Warring only deepened that desire. But since then, it's been a waiting game, a tug-of-war between idol commitments and the personal calling he's never quite been able to shake. And now, it seems, the door to global acting fame has swung open again. Squid Game is no ordinary drama. It's the cultural behemoth that redefined Korean content on the world stage. Season 3 is rumored to feature an even darker plotline, with fresh characters designed to test the moral limits of humanity. What role could Taehyung possibly be playing? A masked enforcer? A desperate player? A cold-blooded traitor? Some insiders claim he's landed a major antagonist role, one that could redefine his public image forever. No longer the sweet, mysterious, poetic V of BTS, but someone entirely new. And therein lies the fear. Will we lose V as we know him? Fans are divided. A faction of international armies passionately supports his artistic exploration. He deserves the world. If acting makes him happy, we'll be there, said one fan from Brazil in a viral TikTok post. But others, particularly in Korea, expressed deep concern. BTS is a promise, wrote one commenter. He can't just walk away before the reunion. That's the heart of the matter. The promise. BTS's long-awaited 2026 reunion isn't just an event, it's a cultural reset. Millions have endured the painful wait through enlistments and absence, holding on to the belief that all 7 will return, united. For many, Taehyung's potential acting move feels like a crack in that sacred unity, and yet, can anyone truly blame him? He is human. He is an artist. And above all, he is evolving. But what happens when that evolution risks breaking the very bond that made him beloved? Some speculate that this isn't about personal ambition at all, that there are deeper pressures at play, pressures from the industry, from global production companies hungry to tap into his popularity, from sponsors, directors, even international agents. And if the rumor is true, that Netflix offered him an 8-figure contract, then we are no longer talking about passion. We are talking about power. Did I ask this what global fame does? Does it force even the most loyal artists to choose between personal growth and collective memory? Taehyung has not spoken openly. Not yet. But his expressions, his absences, his timing, they speak volumes. And each day that passes without clarification only fuels the fire. As the production of Squid Game 3 reportedly enters the second phase of casting, ARMY continues to wait in agonizing limbo. But maybe the real shock isn't that Taehyung might join Squid Game. Maybe the real heartbreak lies in the realization that BTS, once seemingly unbreakable, is now in an era of individualism. And maybe Taehyung's rumored choice is simply the first public crack in that perfect mirror. And if so, who's next? The future remains unclear. The fandom remains torn. And Taehyung? He walks forward in silence, leaving a trail of clues that offer no answers, only questions. Will the next time we see him be in a prison uniform instead of a BTS jacket? Will his next stage be scripted in blood and betrayal, not music and unity? Will ARMY have to choose between supporting his dreams and mourning the group that changed their lives? The world is watching. And Taehyung, without saying a single word, has once again become the center of a global conversation that no one was ready for. I asked this the beginning of a new era, or the end of something we never thought could break. Then came the silence, the kind that doesn't scream but lingers in the shadows like a warning. Taehyung's digital footprint became quieter. His weverse activity dwindled. No recent comments on the group's posts. No interactions with fan art. No celebration for RM's return to duty. No visible message to Jungkook, despite the younger member being in the headlines for his own solo struggles. For someone once known for poetic midnight musings and random bursts of affection for fans, the stillness was louder than any scandal. What happened to the Taehyung who once said, "ARMY is my home"? Why does he now feel so far away from that home? Across fan forums, one word started trending: goodbye. Not as a declaration, but as a fear. A lingering possibility. One fan tweeted, "It feels like he's slowly walking backward into a different world while looking us in the eyes and not saying a word." It's not that armies are ungrateful. It's that they've been here before. Solo dreams pulling at the seams of unity. Suga's brutally honest lyrics about exhaustion and the price of fame. Jungkook's emotional breakdown on stage during the Love Yourself tour. Jin's struggle to balance his identity as the oldest Hyung and the pressure of enlistment. BTS, for all their success, have always walked the edge of burnout. And maybe, just maybe, Taehyung was the one we never realized was closest to falling off. But is acting the fall, or the escape? One K-media journalist, speaking under anonymity, revealed. Taehyung has been offered acting roles every year since Warren. He declined most of them. But this time is different. The pressure is global. Netflix wants Korean stars with existing worldwide audiences. They don't just want an actor, they want an event. And Taehyung is that event. Indeed, he is. With over 65 million followers on Instagram, He's a one-man publicity machine. His fashion appearances go viral within seconds. Even a single blurry airport photo can dominate international media. So, if he steps into a Netflix original, especially one as dark and provocative as Squid Game, it won't just be a cameo. It will be a rebranding, a reincarnation, and maybe that's what scares fans most. Because idols are allowed to evolve, yes, but when evolution feels like abandonment, the scars run deeper than fandom. There's also something eerily symbolic about Squid Game as the platform for Taehyung's rumored acting resurgence. The show itself is about survival, masks, betrayal, and the price of humanity. Can it be any more fitting for an artist navigating the battlefield between self-fulfillment and the weight of global expectations? And speaking of expectations, what about the promise of 2026? For years, ARMY has clung to that date like a sacred prophecy. The year when all members would return. The reunion that would make the waiting, the crying, the uncertainty worth it. But now, the foundations of that hope are trembling. If Taehyung accepts this acting role, especially one as high-profile and demanding as Squid Game, will he even have time for BTS? Some fans believe this is all a coordinated rollout. That HYB and Netflix are secretly working together to blend Taehyung's return into the BTS narrative. But others are more cynical. This feels like Taehyung testing the waters, one popular YouTuber noted. He's seeing how fans react to the idea of him as an actor first, not an idol. And if the backlash isn't too big, he'll go all in. The fanbase remains divided, fractured in ways it hasn't been since the hiatus announcement. Hashtags like #ActorTaehyung and #TaehyungStayWithBTS trend simultaneously, contradicting one another like two halves of a broken mirror. And through it all, the other members remain silent. RM has said nothing. Jimin only briefly mentioned Taehyung during AV Live weeks ago, praising his vision but avoiding any talk of projects. Jungkook, surprisingly, unfollowed everyone on Instagram. Yes, even Taehyung. Coincidence? Or another piece of the puzzle? Meanwhile, Taehyung appears at a Paris fashion show, smiling, poised, wearing a blood-red suit that fans now analyze frame by frame. Was it a reference to Squid Game? A subtle nod to his future? Or just fashion? That's the tragedy of Taehyung. He says so much without speaking. A glance, a sort, a caption. And the world listens, desperate to decode what he cannot, or will not, say. And perhaps that's the genius behind his rumor decision. Maybe it's not just about escaping the idol mold, but about reclaiming his mystery. In a world where BTS has shared everything, their fears, their fatigue, their deepest thoughts, Taehyung is now choosing to become unpredictable again. Unreadable, dangerous. But at what cost? Will this transformation be his liberation, or the beginning of his isolation? Industry insiders speculate that filming for Squid Game 3 is scheduled to overlap with key BTS planning dates. Not just choreography rehearsals, but branding decisions, reunion strategy, and the first group comeback teaser. If Taehyung is absent, it will be impossible to hide. And if he is involved with Netflix, then this is no longer a rumor. It's a decision, one that may alter the course of BTS forever. Still, some fans hold hope. Hope that this is just a phase, a side project, a distraction. Let him act. One weverse post pleads. He'll come back. They always do. But what if he doesn't? What if Squid Game 3 becomes the doorway to a new chapter he never intends to close? What if, years from now, we look back on this moment, not as a scandal, not as betrayal, but as the exact second when Taehyung stopped being V of BTS and became something the world had never seen before? This is the price of fame. The cost of ambition. The consequence of growing up in front of billions. And now, as fans scroll through every possible leak, analyze every image, replay every interview, one question echoes louder than ever before. Will Kim Taehyung choose art or family? And if the answer is art, are we prepared to let him go?